Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. A very, very welcome to this session today. This is a primary session that's been organized by the Apna community so that you can overcome your fear of speaking in English. अगर किसी को भी hesitation है और सीखना चाहते हैं कि spoken English अपना कैसे improve करें, हम यही चीज़ें इस session में discover करेंगे and हम सबके doubts भी clarify करेंगे. I'd like to introduce our host, our guest for the session, which is Miss Simran. One second.
Yes.
I'd like to introduce our host, Ms. Simran. She is a spoken English tutor and has been running successfully many classes and has helped thousands of people all over the country. And we are very, very grateful to have her here on the session to help us all out. Simran, over to you. You can please introduce yourself once, let us know what the session will be about, and then we can get started.
Right. Thank you so much, Dipanjan.
Yeah.
So basically, I think all of us here looking out for a job suffer only from one problem. You feel you have the skills, but when it comes to speaking English, that's where you lag behind. You feel others are taking up your position, even though you have better skills, only because they can speak better English. Does that happen with many of you? Are you facing that problem at all?
Simran, I think we can also do a little bit of Hindi as well so that a lot of these people can understand. So I think that will be perfect if that's comfortable for you, or if I can also help.
I think yes, please do that, Dipanjan.
Sure. Yeah. So अगर आप में से किसी को भी इंग्लिश के वजह से जॉब मिलने में डिफिकल्टी हो रही है या फिर आपको इंग्लिश समझ में नहीं आ रहा, तो उस चीज़ को हम यहाँ पे कवर करेंगे. हम ट्राई करेंगे आपको इसमें हेल्प करने का. तो ऐसे कौन कौन है जिसको लगता है कि हाँ ये चीज़ मुझे डिफिकल्टी होती है, आप चैट पे बता सकते हैं और या फिर आप अनम्यूट करके भी अपने आप यहाँ पे बता सकते हैं. Whenever you want, I can start with the presentation as well.
I think let's do that, Dipanjan. I think we can just move ahead.
Sure. अगर किसी को कुछ और सवाल अभी पूछने हैं तो आप एक बार अपने आप को अनम्यूट करके कर सकते हैं. इसके बाद हम स्टार्ट करेंगे सेशन. आई थिंक काफी लोगों ने हैंड रेज किया है. मणिदीप, सुमित, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे? Okay. Anyone has any questions? Anything that they want to ask? Shikha, anyone?
No.
Okay. No problem. Okay, then we'll get started. Simran, I'll start sharing the presentation now, and then you can take it forward from there.
Yes, thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I hope everyone can see my screen. सबको मेरा screen दिख रहा है, right? Yeah, ठीक है. Yeah, Simran, over to you. Yeah.
Okay. So as you can see on the screen, our classes have been running since 1976. All right, so it's been over 48 years that these classes have been running. So we know exactly how to address your problem. All right. Now, are you someone who understands English but struggles with English speaking? Can you translate this for me, Dipanjan, to ask them?
तो हम ये जानना चाहते हैं कि आप ऐसे हैं जिनको इंग्लिश में बेसिकली आपको समझ में आता है लेकिन आप बोलने में आप हिचकिचाते हो या बोलने में आपको प्रॉब्लम होती है. ये आपका प्राइमरी क्वेश्चन है तो आप जरूर चैट पे लिख के यस बताइए, हम उस हिसाब से आगे बढ़ेंगे.
Yes.
या ओके.
All right. Shall we move ahead, Dipanjan?
Yeah, sure.
So basically, let's understand the real reason why you can't speak in English. So number one is lack of practice. No English-speaking community around you. When you meet your family, friends, relatives, colleagues, what is the language that you speak in generally? Can we ask them that?
Yeah. जब आप नॉर्मली आप लोगों से बात करते हो किस भाषा में आप यूजुअली कम्युनिकेट करते हो, आप ये भी हमें बताइए.
It's mainly Hindi, right? All right.
Yeah.
And we have
only Hindi. Yeah. It's mostly Hindi. Correct.
Okay. So number 3 is wrong methods of learning. So spoken English cannot be treated like a subject. It is not a subject, and that's where we make a mistake. Now, as you can see on the screen, have you seen such a situation where there's someone who's uneducated but can speak in English? And then there is another person who is educated and cannot speak. Have you come across people like this before?
Yes,
People
ma'am.
who are uneducated but they can speak in English fluently.
Yes,
Yes?
ma'am. There was a laborer in my neighborhood. He has worked in a company. From there,
Right.
he has learned it.
All right. So basically, that shows us that your education does not matter in the way you can speak in English. Okay. You can be uneducated but be fluent. All right. So, what is the difference? What happens is that the uneducated woman is using the language without fear. She is speaking, she is using the language without fear. But the educated woman is not using the language because of fear of making mistakes, fear of being judged. Right? Dipanjan, can you explain to them fear of making mistakes is that's what stops us. That I'll go wrong, and that's why I better not speak.
करेक्ट करेक्ट हम यही सोचते हैं कि हमें ये हिचकिचाहट इसीलिए होती है क्योंकि हम सोचते हैं कि हम शायद कुछ गलत बोल रहे हो और ये चीज़ के वजह से हम लोगों हमें जज करेंगे, राइट? तो ये एक प्राइमरी रीजन होता है कि हम सही से इंग्लिश में कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर पाते हैं.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So we believe in one maxim: a language cannot be taught; it can only be caught. Right? A language cannot be taught. It is not something that you learn as a subject. All right. Let's move ahead. So, were you ever taught to speak in your mother tongue? Did anyone teach you how to speak in Hindi, the language that you are so comfortable with? किसी ने सिखाया कभी हिंदी में कैसे बात करना है? कभी सिखाया किसी ने?
No.
Right? It is something that we just pick up. So, for example, have you seen different people speaking to their dogs? In a Gujarati family, the dog understands only Gujarati, while in a Tamil family, he understands only Tamil. So, right, if you keep a dog at home, you will talk to the dog in the language that is spoken at home. And that dog is able to understand you perfectly well. Without any books, without any grammar rules, he's able to understand your language. So, basically, don't learn English speaking as a subject. It is not a subject, it is a skill. All right, we can move ahead. Okay, so basically, most of us here, we have head knowledge. Okay, head knowledge is passive knowledge. You understand English but can't speak well. To make the knowledge active, you need practice. Okay, so everybody speaks English. What can set you aside is your sentence structure. Change your English, change your life. So it's basically our sentence structure that goes wrong with most of us. And I'll show you how. Let's move ahead, Dipanjan. So if it is something like this, as simple as if there's a question put to you, how are you? How would you answer that question? Can you just type down your answer?
Fine.
I am fine.
Correct. How else?
I am fine.
Correct. Most of us will
I am
say,
fine.
I am fine. I am fine. That's
What
how we
about
say that. All right. Let's move ahead, Dipanjan. I'll explain to you. So if I just change that word fine and if I put it as I'm very well, thank you, do I sound better? By just replacing one word, I remove fine and I put it as I'm very well, thank you. Does it sound better? सुनने में ये better लगता है?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So we just changed one word, but our language sounds better. So you don't need flowery words to make your language sound better. You just need a better structure. All right. In one word change, you can change the way you sound. Okay. So magic lies in the structure. Can I enlarge this, Dipanjan? Is it possible? All right. Thank you. So now something like this. There are two people talking, A and B. Okay. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. And how is Ram? He's very well too. So now, most of us would say, how are you? I'm fine. And how is Ram? He is also fine. Is that right? Would most of us answer in this manner?
Yes, ma'am.
He is fine.
Sure.
He is
Yeah.
also fine, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we just make one change. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. And how's Ram? He's very well too. So you see, with just the structure change, our English sounds so much better. All right. Another thing we need to understand, our sentences should be short. Short, simple sentences in the right structure. Okay. It is when you make your sentences long, that's when you need your fillers. That's when you do, you just don't know how to complete that sentence because your sentence is too long. So always keep in mind that the sentence should be short and simple in the correct structure. All right. Another thing that we do is that we use contractions. Do you know what are contractions in English? Do you know what are contractions? Anyone? Do you know what are contractions? So,
I think not. Yeah. So Simran, yeah, please go ahead and I'll like continue. Yeah.
all right. So basically, instead of saying I am, we sing I'm. I am very well. We sing I'm very well. I and am is combined together as one word. That's how we get connected speech. Okay. How is Ram? He's very well. So instead of saying he is, we say he's. He's very well. We combine two words to make it one. That's how you get fluency. That's the first step to get fluent. All right.
Yeah, I think Simran, we can take one question. There
All
are a
right.
couple of people who wanted to ask this.
Okay.
Lapina, you have a question, right? You can just unmute yourself and ask the question, or you can just type the question here in chat as well if you need any guidance. Okay. Anyone else who wants to ask a question? I think Sumit has also raised his hand. Tushar as well. Anyone who wants to go first, ask the question. You can unmute yourself and ask your question, or टाइप इट इन द चैट. सुमित, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है? आप चैट पे पूछ सकते हैं या फिर अपने आप को अनम्यूट करके भी पूछ सकते हैं. लपीना, आप भी अनम्यूट करके पूछ सकते हैं.
सर, स्कूल की जॉब में सबसे पहले होता है कि आपको आपकी स्पोकन इंग्लिश अच्छी होनी चाहिए।
All right.
हाँ,
So
आगे
then
आगे.
how do we address that?
वाराणसी, बनारस।
नहीं नहीं, आप
Okay.
आगे आपका क्वेश्चन पूछिए.
मतलब यही है, स्कूल की टीचिंग के लिए, जॉब के लिए अगर आप जाइए तो वो कहते हैं कि आपकी स्पोकन इंग्लिश अच्छी होनी चाहिए। आजकल मतलब नॉर्मल सी बात हो गई है, कहीं भी किसी भी स्कूल में जाइए, तो वो चीज़ें नहीं हो पाती हैं जनरली। कुछ चीज़ें तो आदमी बोल लेता है, गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून या फिर हाउ आर यू, लेकिन पूरा प्रॉपरली बच्चों से इंग्लिश में कैसे बात करना है, वो चीज़ें नहीं हो पाती है।
Right. So like I told you, can I speak in English?
Yeah, sure, no
Dipanjan?
problem. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll translate if it needs to.
Yes. So, like I said, what we do, the mistake we make is that we treat it as a subject, as if it is a subject that we're learning in school, but that's not how spoken English is learned. All right. It is a skill. Anything that you do, if you take it up little by little, you will keep getting better. There is no other way out. You'll keep getting better little by little. You can't take the whole thing at once and learn it. It's not something like that, right? That's the mistake we make, and that's why we always remain in the same spot. right?
Understood, ma'am.
We have one more question from Bharti as well. Bharti, आपका question था, आप पूछ सकते हैं. आप अपने आप को unmute करके पूछ सकते हैं. ठीक है. Before that, we have another question from Lapina. So she has asked कि interview में spoken English बोलेंगे कैसे बोलेंगे? Like any tips for the interview when it comes to spoken English? How can they improve it?
So actually, I am not into interview skills. It's basically, conversation, regular everyday English that we are into.
Okay. Anything that you can recommend that she can maybe practice that can help?
So for interview skills, there are so many videos on YouTube. You can just take in like a session for half an hour and pick up those, basic questions that are asked in most cases.
Okay.
That should help.
Okay. Okay, I think Bharti has also asked the same question, which is how to, learn English to crack interviews. I think Bharti, the answer is you have to basically improve the spoken English bit as a
So
general
if
tool.
basic
Yeah.
English is in order, then
Correct.
everything else falls in place.
Correct. There's no specific thing just for interviews, but you just have to improve this. We'll try to help you with few things here on the call, but yeah, it's a long process. We'll continue doing these so that gradually you can pick this up. Yeah, I think we can continue now. Should I move to the next page?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah.
This is another mistake most of us make, okay? When someone asks you, what's your name? And then there are people who say, myself, Reena. Okay, that's the most common mistake, where instead all you need to say is that I'm Reena or my name is Reena. There are two ways to answer this question, and this is definitely wrong. Okay, so this way you can start picking up everyday language and see where you're going wrong. Correct that step by step. Okay. What we must understand is that a language is only a tool. It's only a language. You are the master. English is your slave. It's only a language. It's in your control. It's in your control. You are the master, so there's no need to be afraid of the language. It is the fear that stops us. It's the fear because of which we can't succeed. All right? So our brain cannot differentiate between easy and difficult. Okay? Our brain does not understand easy and difficult. It works on the concept of repetition. All right. So, Dipanjan, I would like you to explain to them that the brain cannot understand if it's easy or difficult. That's not how it works.
Correct. So, जो भी चीज को हमें लगता है कि ये मुश्किल है या आसान है, ये चीज सिर्फ हमारे खुद के दिमाग में है, राइट? हम खुद ऐसा सोचते हैं इसीलिए, लेकिन अगर हमारा ब्रेन जब किसी चीज को सीखता है वो ये डिफरेंशिएट नहीं कर पाता है. तो अगर हम सोचेंगे कि इंग्लिश बोलना आसान है तो ये आसान रहेगा, और अगर हम इस चीज को सोचेंगे कि नहीं ये मुश्किल है तो ही ये मुश्किल होगा. किसी भी चीज को हम रिपीट करेंगे, ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, वो चीज अपने आप आसान हो जाएगा.
That's the point. Repetition is what creates mastery. Is the repetition what makes it easy for us?
Yeah.
All right, let's move ahead.
Yeah.
So I want to give you this example. Does everyone know this word, quarantine? सबने सुना है ये word quarantine?
Yeah, ma'am.
Everyone knows the word
ma'am.
quarantine? Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it an easy word? If you look at the word quarantine, is it an easy word?
No, I mean, it's not a standard word usually.
It's not an easy word. It's not one of those, simple words that we come across. But how is it that today everyone knows of it? 4 years back, before COVID struck, had you heard of the word quarantine?
No, ma'am.
But
I have no any idea about.
None of us knew what is quarantine. But in this span, everywhere, that's the only word we were listening to, quarantine. Every news channel, every newspaper was talking about quarantine. So the brain got it. It was a difficult word, but everyone knows what it is. We all know what it is. So the brain does not understand easy and difficult. You repeat that word and the brain finds it easy. All right?
It's a point.
Let's move through. All right. So it was the Corona time that we came across this word quarantine. And today, every passerby on the road knows what it means. All right. So we need to activate your English brain. Okay. Let's take another exercise. So here, there are two people talking, A and B. Is Jim very busy just now? Yes, he is. He's having breakfast. And Jack, is he having breakfast too? No, he isn't. He's talking over the phone. Can anyone tell me what is the tense that we are using here? What tense is being used?
Ma'am, it is a present tense.
It is present continuous, happening right now. So there's a difference between
Yes, ma'am.
present and present continuous. Present continuous is happening right now. And that's why we have ing in the words that are happening right now. Having breakfast, talking over the phone. All these are the clues that we are talking in present continuous tense. All right. Another thing to understand how to answer questions is that look at the first word of the question. So it's starting with is. Is Jim very busy just now? So our short answer will be yes, he is. The first word of the question will be the last word of your short answer. This is how we can pick up basic English. All right. Whatever the first word of your question will be the last word of your answer. So suppose I ask you, can you read? How would you answer this? Can you read? We say, yes, I can. Can you read? Yes, I can. Whatever is the first word of the question will be the last word of your answer. All right. Okay, so you can just look at the second example also, the para. Is Amy very busy just now? Yes, she is. She's studying. And Sarah, is she studying too? No, she isn't. She's filing documents. So you see, because it's present continuous, we have words like studying, filing, talking, having, all ing form of the verb. All right, let's move ahead. Okay. So we can pick up vocabulary in a simple form. Just take one particular phrase that you want to learn, okay, with the help of a picture. So how many of you are familiar with this phrase, it slipped my mind? That means I forgot. It slipped my mind. Anyone who's familiar with the phrase, कभी सुना है, कभी use किया है आपने?
No, I think this is a new one for people.
It's too high. I thought it would be simple. All right, no problem. So when you look at this is the picture of a brain. And here we have the banana peel just to give you the word slip, right? So with the help of pictures, you can learn simple phrases used in everyday life. So like we say in Hindi, how do you say that, Dipanjan?
मेरे दिमाग से निकल गया.
दिमाग से निकल गया.
Yeah.
You see, that's what it is. Will you ask them if they understood this?
या आप लोगों को समझ में आया. बेसिकली हम जब कहते हैं कि मेरे दिमाग से निकल गया, तो उसका एक कॉमन फ्रेज होता है कि इट स्लिप्ड माय माइंड, राइट, जिसका मतलब होता है कि मैं भूल गया, है ना. तो उसी चीज को याद रखने के लिए हम ऐसा एक इमेज अपने दिमाग में रख सकते हैं, जिसमें हम देख सकते हैं ये दिमाग की एक फोटो है एंड वो बनाना पील पे वो स्लिप हो रहा है. तो ऐसी चीजें हम याद करने के लिए जो भी ऐसे फ्रेजेस हैं, वर्ड्स हैं, इसके लिए हम ऐसे इमेजेस हम यूज कर सकते हैं दिमाग में, ताकि ये हमें याद रहे अच्छे से. किसी सबको समझ आया? ये कोई डाउट है इसके रिगार्डिंग? तनवीर, आई थिंक या आपका कोई क्वेश्चन था. तनवीर, आप कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं? अपनी हैंड रेस किया.
Hello, Simran. Hello, Dipanjan.
Yes. Hi.
My question is, as you told, we need to speak English daily. So I talk with my friends regularly. बट नो वी टॉक स्पेसिफिक टाइम, थोड़ा स्पेसिफिक टाइम तक ही बात कर सकते हैं हम फ्रेंड्स के साथ. सो कैन यू प्लीज सजेस्ट मी दी एप्लीकेशन या कोई वेबसाइट जहाँ पे मैं अपनी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल को बेटर कर सकता हूँ. सिमरन प्लीज.
So are you on Instagram?
या सुमित.
So we have a page on Instagram. I will share the link. Okay. So
Okay.
you can follow us on Instagram. You will get, tips every day on spoken English. Okay.
Okay.
There'll be short lessons that are already uploaded on the page.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
it is called English with Sim and Pooh. You can check it out on Instagram. I will share it ahead.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, for an example, you say, did you lock the door? And you say, oh, it slipped my mind. मैं भूल ही गई करना, मैं लॉक ही नहीं किया, मैं भूल ही गई. You'll say it slipped my mind. So when it is one little phrase that you take at time, एक time में एक ही new word you try to remember. एक time में एक ही new word. Try to look at the picture and keep that in mind. Repeat it a few times till you get it, and then the next time you can move to another word. इस तरह you can build your vocabulary, but not too many phrases at one time. Take one phrase at a time. So tell me now, after looking at the picture of slipped my mind, do you think you'll be able to remember this phrase? Can you ask them, Dipanshu?
या क्या आपको लगता है अब आपको ये चीज याद रहेगा? लाइक आपने समझी इट्स स्लिप माय माइंड का क्या मतलब होता है?
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I understand.
ओके. आई थिंक या वी कैन मूव ऑन. हम आपका क्वेश्चन जल्द ही लेंगे. आप क्वेश्चन अपने चैट पे भी डाल सकते हैं, एंड मैंने लिंक भी ऐड कर दिए हैं सिमरन जी के इंस्टाग्राम का. मैं उनका अपना कम्युनिटी में भी हम जो चैनल है उसका हम लिंक ऐड कर देंगे, हम उन्हें ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. एंड वी ऑल्सो हैव डेडिकेटेड कम्युनिटीज ऑन अपना लर्न इंग्लिश के लिए. आप उनको भी ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. वहाँ पे भी आप सीखने के लिए लाइक माइंडेड लोगों से कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, लोगों से बात कर सकते हैं ताकि आप प्रैक्टिस कर सको. मैं उनका भी लिंक यहाँ पे शेयर कर दूंगा, आप लोग चैट से वो लिंक ले सकते हैं. या आई विल मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पेज. समझ?
Yes, please.
श्योर. या
All right. So you all want to speak English fluently. All right. But we need to understand there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. You have to go step by step. In today's world, we live in a world of quick fixes. सब कुछ जल्दी चाहिए, अभी आना चाहिए. But a language, you have to go step by step. It takes time. It cannot be that you just press the button and are there. All right. We need to go step by step. All right. Good things take time. Right? So you can say goodbye to your fear of English speaking. So we have courses right from beginner to advanced in spoken English. All right. Let's move ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. And these batches that we have, new batches are starting and for ladies only. All right. So if you like, you can connect with us on this number on WhatsApp for details. Okay.
Simran, do you want me to add the number on the chat?
You could.
Sure, I'll add it here. So अगर किसी को भी कांटेक्ट करना है, आगे का सवाल पूछना है या फिर सीखना है, तो आप जरूर इस नंबर पे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं.
They could also connect with me on Instagram, on that platform itself.
Yeah, I am just adding the number here. Yeah.
All right. So this is what we'll be covering up. Conversational grammar. All right. So we don't do grammar that is done in school. Okay, that's not how spoken English is picked up. Okay, so we do conversational grammar, vocabulary building, and dialogue practice. Okay, And I will share secret methods to get 100% results. Okay. We've been in the line since 76, so you can imagine we know exactly how to get you there. Okay. Okay, so this is just an idea to give them about the course fee.
Yeah, I think this they can contact you for this as well, right?
All right. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and this
Okay.
is our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, Pinterest profile. Okay, so that's about it from my side to give them an idea. If there
Yeah.
are any questions, we can take that out.
श्योर आपको अगर कोई भी और सवाल पूछना है आप यहाँ पे पूछ सकते हैं. हमने सारे लिंक्स यहाँ पे शेयर कर दिए हैं. ठीक है, आपने इंस्टाग्राम पे सनमन जी को फॉलो कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे अपना कम्युनिटी में लर्न इंग्लिश कम्युनिटीज ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. एंड अगर आपको ये चीज़ कंटिन्यू करना है, लाइक रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस आप करना चाहते हो, आप डेफिनेटली ये कोर्सेज आप ऑप्ट इन कर सकते हो. एंड आप डेफिनेटली उनसे कांटेक्ट कीजिए. हमने उनका नंबर भी यहाँ पे शेयर किया है ताकि आपको और प्रोफेशनल गाइडेंस मिले एंड चीज़ें थोड़ा बेटर हो. जैसे सिमरन जी ने कहा कि ये एक दिन का प्रोसेस नहीं है, देखिए आपको कंटिन्यूसली इसमें प्रैक्टिस करना है. एंड अगर आपको अभी जो भी और क्वेश्चन है आप एक बार पूछिए ताकि हम भी थोड़ा और गाइडेंस आपको इस कॉल पे प्रोवाइड कर सके. किसी और को कोई सवाल पूछने हैं आप अनम्यूट करके अपना सवाल पूछ सकते हैं. आप चाहे तो सवाल हिंदी में ही पूछ सकते हैं, कोई इशू नहीं है. हम ट्राई करेंगे आपको हेल्प करने का.
Ma'am, I have a question that if we do not talk to many people, like not even strangers, then how our vocabulary can increase just by understanding the words?
So the best way is to make reading a habit. If you read anything of your interest, okay, it could be anything of your interest. So what is the kind of interest that you may be having? What are your interests?
Ma'am, I generally read uh, some self-help books and books regarding business
Okay,
and
it could be
books
anything
of
related to your interest, okay? It could be,
yes.
suppose you like gardening, photography, anything that you like, okay? You could choose books related to your interest and make it a habit to read one para every day. Just one para. Won't take you more than few minutes, but it should be done every day. Okay?
Yes, ma'am, I read books.
What you need is consistency. You need to read every day, even if it's just one para, a few lines, but it needs to be done every day.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Mhm.
किसी और को कुछ पूछना है आप अपने इस समय का यूटिलाइजेशन कर सकते हैं. आपको जो भी डाउट्स हैं, कहीं कहीं आपको किसी चीज़ का प्रॉब्लम होता है, वो आप बेझिझक यहाँ पे बात कर सकते हैं अनम्यूट करके, क्योंकि हम सभी यहाँ पे सीखने आए हैं. तो आपको इस चीज़ को सोचने की ज़रूरत नहीं है कि मेरा सवाल सही रहेगा कि नहीं. आप ज़रूर अपना सवाल यहाँ पे पूछिए. Anyone else has any other questions that they want to ask? आप चैट पे भी लिख सकते हैं. अगर आप माइक अनम्यूट नहीं करना चाहे तो आप चैट पे भी ये सवाल पूछ सकते हैं और ये सवाल हम एड्रेस करेंगे. Okay, so Simran, from the crowd, I think I have a question for everyone else, right? So I think something that people struggle with is the pronunciation bit, right? So is there anything that they can do to improve this? Something essentially.
So that comes
yeah,
only with listening,
right,
listening skills. So you need to follow certain pages or YouTube channels where you trust the person.
right,
Because there are so many channels that are actually mispronouncing words.
correct, correct.
So you just choose the right channels and listen.
Okay.
And the main thing is that if you listen to things of your interest, you will continue that habit.
Right. And also, you know, something that people often wonder is if I start picking a new language, like how हम नए से शुरुआत करना चाहे तो कितना टाइम हमें लगेगा ताकि हम भी फ्लुएंटली बात कर सके. तो इसका कोई ऐसा टाइमलाइन है जिस हिसाब से
It
उनको लगे?
depends
हाँ.
person to person.
Right, right.
You know, just varies person to person. Like,
हाँ.
for example, if I tell you that when I came into Bangalore, okay, when I got married and came to Bangalore, I did not know Kannada
Right.
at all. At all. It was like a foreign language to me.
Correct.
But All the mates, everyone was talking only in Kannada, and I had no choice but to struggle and speak and just talk any rubbish that I could understand.
Yeah.
Ultimately, today I am fluent in Kannada.
करेक्ट. सो आई मीन किसी को भी हेजिटेशन होने की जरूरत नहीं अगर वो गलत भी बोले, राइट?
Absolutely. The fear of making mistakes is what actually pulls us back.
करेक्ट, करेक्ट. ठीक है. अगर किसी को और कुछ सवाल पूछने हैं तो हम वो सवाल लेंगे, वरना वी कैन ड्रॉ टुवर्ड्स कंक्लूजन. किसी को और कुछ पूछना है? No, I think okay, that's about it then for the session. So firstly, thank you so much, Simran, for joining the session and taking your time out for us. It was
Thank
really
you.
informative, and I'm sure people would have gained something from here. And thank you everyone here on the call for joining and making this session a successful one. We know it's a Sunday afternoon and yet you showed up, which is a great sign. Shows that you are interested and want to make a serious effort in improving your spoken English. And we'd love to help you out in the future as well. I've linked the Instagram pages. I've linked the community that we have on Apna, which is dedicatedly working towards, helping people improve their skill sets, which helps them get jobs. So do check us out. Do go to the community page of Miss Simran on Apna and also the Learn English community. Follow her on Instagram and do connect with her. I'm sure we'll be able to help you out in whatever ways we can. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone, guys.
so much, and bye-bye.
Bye. Have
Thank
a
you,
nice day,
sir.
everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Bye.